Hello there, welcome back to Euro Truck Simulator 2. We're just parked up in a depot in Carlisle and we've just picked up a job, so let me show you what we're doing today. We are transporting oil from here in Carlisle to Valmiera. Now, it's quite a big job, 107 grand payout, and I'm going to show you what we're doing it in because we're now piloting what I'm affectionately coming to term as the... well, you can't really see it in the dark, but I'm calling it the fire truck. Primarily because we're transporting flammable goods, and also because it's a nice fire truck red, both the truck and trailer. This is my own trailer, and I've chosen the fuel tank specifically because I want to do flammable goods jobs. They are quite lucrative, as I think I mentioned in the last episode, and I'm just up for a bit of that. So I think this is a time-sensitive job, perhaps? Don't think it tells me if it is or... oh, there we go. Oh no, it's standard delivery and ADR class 3. Flammable. So yeah, we're going into Latvia. So we've got quite a journey to do today. It's a long one, as I've been threatening for a while. So let's get the hell on with it. Try and get out of here without dinting the paintwork. Scratching the paintwork. So yeah, not done one of these in a bit of a while. A couple of reasons for wanting to sort of jump back in again. Firstly is that I've not done one in a while. And secondly, I feel as though my routine's taken a bit of a hit recently. I just don't seem to be in the swing of things as much as I used to be, and that is a slight concern. Because knowing myself as well as I do, I know that when my routine starts to disappear, so does any sense of normality in my life. And that's when I start to get a bit stressed and a little bit, I don't know, overwhelmed, maybe is the best word. So I've been feeling a bit of that recently, at work as well as at home. It's always nice just to get behind the wheel in Euro Truck Simulator 2. It kind of takes some of the edge off what's going on. Helps me to relax a little bit. Which is slightly ironic because I find it sometimes quite hard to do the things that relax me. And again, I know that sounds a bit weird, but sometimes I'll have it in my head. I'm just going to turn my headphones down a little bit. There we go. Sometimes I have it in my head to kind of do something that I know is going to be chill and relaxing and good for my mental health. Yet I find it really hard to actually start doing it, if that makes any sense at all. I procrastinate a lot and I overthink a lot. And by the time I'm done with all of that, which I rarely am, but by the time that's kind of past the worst... You letting me go? Cool, thank you. Yeah, by the time I've got through the worst of that, I'm generally not very motivated to do even the things that I find enjoyable, which can be a bit of a problem. But from somewhere deep within the dark recesses of my stupid brain, I've somehow dredged up enough energy to do this today. Hurrah. I'm going whole hog with a big long distance delivery as well, so yay for me. Also being aided this evening by a brand new flavour of G Fuel. The Nuka-Cola Quantum finally arrived. Yeah. Such a good flavour as well. It always surprises me that G Fuel, being as sugar-free as it is, manages to have such delicious flavours. The other one, I got 2 new tubs. A confetti cake one as well, which sounded very interesting. I mentioned it to somebody at work and they were like, that sounds sickly as all hell. And it is. It is quite sickly. But good at the same time, so I'm not complaining. Things are also changing around. Well, hopefully things are going to be changing around a bit at work as well, because I've been looking for other things that I can do within the organisation. Now, in the job that I work in, there's not a lot you can do in terms of progression as it exists within the warehouse. That's a difficult one, because I did try the shunting for a while. Just moving trucks around the yard and all that sort of malarkey. I need a license for that now, so that's not going to happen immediately. As I may have mentioned before. And there's a couple of other things you can do involving like scanning and things like that, and I'm not particularly interested. However, a role has just come up that's a bit more customer servicey. Now, I've done a lot of customer service in the past, and it's not particularly an area that I'd intended to go back into. However, this version of customer service sounds a little bit more specialised, and that's good. My biggest concern is obviously shifting from one position to another for less hours, which this position actually is, and the worry was it's going to be less money, because other concerns have come up in that regard recently in terms of, you know, the interest rate in the country, across the world really, I suppose, meaning that my rent's gone up and all sorts of things are happening. So as much as I don't really want money to be the primary concern in terms of happiness in a role or satisfaction, let's not go so far as to say happiness. Let's stick with satisfaction. Yeah, as much as I don't want that to be my guiding star, it is, and that's just the reality of the situation. But having looked into it a bit more, I don't think that's going to be a problem. So I'm hoping the fact that A, I already work for the company, and B, have a bucket load of relevant experience, I'll be somewhere near the top of the list of considerable candidates. Fingers crossed. So yeah, that's what's going on with that. And I'm still doing my part-time job at the library as well, which is panning out wonderfully. Everyone there is super nice, and the only thing that I'm really bothered about in that particular role is the reading to groups of, well, kids basically, but it's still a bit of a panic for me. So when I was at, again, I apologise if any of this I've said before, when I was at university, I had to do, well, I was required to do a lot of oral presentations. Even just saying that word now fills me with absolute dread. I hate speaking in front of large groups, or even just groups of people. Public speaking is not my strong suit. I think the overthinking and the generalised anxiety plays a big part in that. Jesus Christ. Oh my god. Yep. Concentrate on your speed. What was I saying? Yeah. The public speaking. It's something I've not done in a long time, and the last time I did it, I wasn't very successful at doing it at all. It's one of those activities that's put a rather large imprint on my brain, and not a very positive one at that. Ooh, I don't want to be in that lane, I want to be in this one. Yeah. Not great associations that are conjured up when I think of that. But I think it's going to be good for me. I think. Like so many things that are inevitably, that are ultimately good for us. We don't necessarily find them the easiest things to do, or the most pleasant. But I think I'm putting a bit too much of a negative to slow down. I am not going to make it to my destination today. Jesus Christ. Right. Just calm down. Yeah, I swear this isn't happening because I'm talking about something that's not especially palatable. I am just a rubbish driver. So yeah, no, I'm putting a bit too much of a negative spin on the whole thing. It's not unpleasant. Like, my logical brain knows that the concept of reading children's stories to children is a positive, good thing, a wholesome thing, a normal thing, not a terrifying thing. However, you try telling my lizard brain that. All it wants to do is scream, no, 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 and run away from the situation. Well, I mean, I've spoken to my boss there, and she's really supportive. She's really good. I can't fault any of the guys there. They've all been really supportive so far. And, you know, they have confidence. And have indicated that I should have confidence, because if they didn't believe I could do it, I wouldn't be there. So there is that. But I've always found it really hard to accept other people's appraisal of the situation. You know, when somebody says, "Oh yeah, you can do it, you can do it," and I'm like, okay. I'm glad you believe that. Can you make me believe that too? So I've had the opportunity to do some practice, just to get a general feel for, you know, how because the thing is, it's they call it story time. So essentially, there'll be an hour set aside during the day for if kids have come into the library with the parents, to sit them all down in the junior library and have a bit of a read to them. This is the interesting thing as well, because, like, speaking to the camera now, I don't have any problem doing that. Like I say, my videos don't get a huge amount of views, and maybe that factors into the way that I can sit and do this without feeling too about the whole thing. I've said before, intros and outros, I don't really know what I'm doing there. Once I get into a flow of speaking, then it's all gravy. I'm fine. But as soon as it kind of feels like there's an expectation, i.e. what to say to open something or what to say to close something, that's a difficulty for me. Yeah. So I guess it's one of those things where once I'm doing it, I'll be okay. Maybe. So I'm actually in tomorrow. I don't think my manager's in tomorrow, but I think we're going to do a bit of a... Like, the lady who normally does the story time is going to sort of pair up with me, and we'll either do it together or I'll assist, or I don't know. But there is something in my brain that basically says, look, once you're in it, you know, you'll be fine. I used to say to my ex-partner when she was worried about stuff, you know, like if there was any upcoming thing that she was panicking about or anything that she was a bit anxious over, I'd always say it's the... not the apprehension, what was the word I used? It's the anticipation of the event that's worse than the actual event itself. So when you're sat there thinking about, you know, something that's coming up, if you're anything like me, or if you're a natural worrier, or if you have, you know, the whole anxiety thing going on, you kind of catastrophize, or the tendency I've found is for myself to catastrophize what's the worst thing that could happen. And not in that kind of like, hey, what's the worst thing that could happen, you know, as in that's not going to happen. This is like, oh god, what's the worst thing that could happen, because that's pretty much going to happen. And that's a pretty self-defeating way of thinking. And very unhelpful. But I could always give her that advice and I could never take it myself. And I still can't. So maybe that makes me a hypocrite. I don't know. I don't know what that makes me. Righty-ho, so we're approaching the Channel Tunnel. We need to sleep because apparently driving from Carlisle to wherever we are in Kent or Dover. Where's the Channel Tunnel? I don't even bloody know. Well, we went over the Dartford crossing anyway, and that's where we started getting tired, so that was around Kent. My geography is terrible. In the country I live in as well. So yes, we are getting very tired. Hopefully when we pull into France, there'll be somewhere we can stop for a jolly good kip. Until then, let's just get on the train. Bing bong! Folkestone. That's where we are. Onwards. Oh yeah, that's what I wanted to do. Actually, I'll wait till we get somewhere where I can park up and I'll show you. I've spent a lot of time in Europe, actually on the continent, doing jobs. Did the Halloween event as well, as you can see from the pumpkin hanging there, and the bat on the tree down on the dashboard thing. Those were the 2 rewards for doing that. And I've made some changes to the company as well. Yes, I know you're very tired. It's an exhausting business travelling the length of the country. Speaking of which, delicious. Right, come on. I need somewhere where I can put my head down. Just try to remember if there is anywhere immediately after we leave the Channel Tunnel terminal. Don't think there is, you know. Might have to wait for a service station. Hopefully my guy can make it that long. Yes, yes, yes. The last time I fell asleep at the wheel in the game, I found out that when the screen fades out and it says dozing, even if you slam your foot on the brake or take your foot off the accelerator, it makes not a bit of difference at all. The truck, that's the one. The truck keeps going straight forward until the screen reappears. And I think that's a random amount of time. It seemed to be different each time it happened. Being more tired didn't necessarily mean it was longer. It just meant it happened and kept happening until I found somewhere to sleep. So, yes. What will happen soon is that will become a more solid black fade out. And then the trouble begins. Please give me somewhere to sleep. I'm a very tired trucker, you see, carrying all this fuel, oil, whatever, this precious black gold. Do we have a services? No? Yes? No. Train? Yes, yeah, there we go. Sleeping offence is a beginning. No, at least it stopped raining. Oh, there's a rest stop on that side, which means if there's any fairness in the world, there should be one on this side as well. Let's just throttle it up a bit. Is this... Yes, I think this is sign for a sleeping place. Yeah. 400 metres. Okay, we're in Belgium. And there's our services. We may as well fuel up while we're here as well. Fuel. And then can we still get to the parking? I think perhaps we might have to go round. Well, we'll see if we can get to it this way. Oh, okay, yeah, we can park here. Bing! Right, let's rest before we incur any more fines. Lights on. And while we're doing that, while we've done that, I can show you what I wanted to show you before. So, excuse me. If I go into Driver Manager, you will see we now have a new member of staff, Michaela J. So we have Mianko G, my trusty long-standing employee. Looks decidedly fed up in that picture, but I'm sure he's smiling on the inside. They're both driving the MAN TGX Euro 6. I've decided that's going to be my mainstay truck. What a gorgeous truck it is. Yes, and this is Michaela J. She's driving the same thing. So Mianko's actually driven more than I have. I'm very impressed. He's wasting no time at all. I haven't upgraded the depot, the home depot. But that's the stats for it anyway. So we can have 2 more in the depot, but we do need to upgrade it first, which costs 87 grand. As you can see, we're very far off that total. 88% productivity. Okay. And the only trailer that I have is the one that I'm currently rocking on mine. It says I've driven 13,000 miles. Oh, is that on this trip? I don't know. Anyway, back to the job. So we still have the remains of the 400,000 euro loan to pay off. I did convert all of the measurements to British standard, so I don't know whether it's measured that in pounds or euro. I suspect euro. I could check, but I'm moving again now, so I can't be bothered. I'm hoping we don't have to rest too many times on this trip, because although it's not particularly a just-in-time delivery, I think you still can be late for doing normal jobs. Quebec. What's Quebec? Is that a place, or is that like Auschwitz? An indication of some kind of road. Best slow down a bit for this turn. Don't want a repeat performance of the beginning of the trip. Part of me really likes driving at night, and part of me prefers driving in the day. I don't really know how I feel about it, to be fair. I think my biggest problem at the moment is that I don't have any side lights for my truck, and it makes it feel a bit... I mean, I look in my right side rear view mirror there, wing mirror, and it's a bit like... it's just a void. So I need something to light me up like a Christmas tree. Oop, might be speeding there. And that is a police car ahead of me, I think. So we'll slow down to avoid being fined unnecessarily. We'll continue our winding way to Latvia. Which actually isn't very winding at all because I'm on a straight piece of road. I don't know why I said that. I really don't want to be in this lane, I want to be in that one. Stick it on cruise control for a bit. So you can see on the center display on my dash, the next to where it says A12, you can probably make it out, maybe not. That indicates what my cruise control is set to. So it's currently set to 56, which is the speed limit for this bit of road. And my speed is 2 bits of display down from that. So I'm going 46. I don't know why I'm indicating. And then if I tap the brake, it takes me out of cruise control. I can also tap the... I've got it set up to the circle button on the steering wheel. And there's a little hat switch on the center of the steering wheel that lets me alter the cruise control speed in increments of 5 miles per hour. So up is +5, down is -5. just overtake this guy. You're going far too slowly. Oh, it's full of cows. Need to keep those energy levels up, otherwise we're not going to make it. Oh, God. Just looked in my rear view mirror long enough to realise I just nearly cut some poor person up. Need to put this down. Ah! Not do that. Okay, that's good. Although my shaker is now partially obscuring my rear view mirror. That's fine. I can live with that. I can see enough to do my job. God, that's pretty. Those rays coming through the trees, reflecting off my wondrously red truck as it hurtles towards its destination carrying dangerously flammable liquid. Heedless of the speed limit and any particular danger that I might be bringing down upon myself. And all the other road users. Good morning, Germany. Fireball! Probably start getting tired again soon. Don't know whether to preempt that and hit the next service station, or keep going until the effects become noticeable. I'm probably going to go for option B. Make as much time as we can and deal with the consequences of overexertion when it becomes too late. That's the sensible way to do things, yeah? Yeah. Ooh. I'm not quite sure whether, having turned off the traffic density mod that I had active, it feels to me like it's made the traffic a lot more sparse. I think there is an option in the menu to change that organically in the game without mods and things. I'll have to have a look, but it feels like the roads are very underpopulated at the moment. Or it could just be the time of day. Although, it's just gone 7 o'clock in game in the morning. It should be some kind of commuting traffic. Surely. Can I get away with turning my headlights off? Or will I get fined? That on the multiplayer servers used to result in you getting kicked off the server. There were two specific times sort of for turning your headlights on and off, and yeah, headlight usage was a bannable offence, or kickable offence, should I say. There were many times where, I mean, you wouldn't get kicked out of the game, you'd basically just get kicked from the server where you were. So what would happen is every other truck on the road, every other player would disappear and the traffic lights would stop working. Which were the only two noticeable differences from being on the server and not on the server. But I do miss Truckers. Was it Truckers MP or Trucker MP? I think it was Truckers MP. I may go back to playing that at some point, but I think I've mentioned before the only problem with that is there's no NPC traffic at all. It's you and whoever else is on the server, and that's it. And one of the biggest pulls for me to go back there was the convoys, but I don't think you even need Truckers MP to do convoys anymore. I think you can do that through the base game. I think. Unless that's a promods thing, but it definitely is on the menu. You can select convoy. Eddie Stobart truck. One of my friends who plays this, he's rocking a Scania. I don't quite know which model it is, but decked it out completely in Halloween stuff. The Halloween paint job, and got the dashboard ornaments and stuff. Very in the spirit of the holiday. Is Halloween a holiday? Event. Spirit of the event. But it did make me miss my old Scania from my previous save that I lost. That thing was such a beast. But alas, those days are gone. And it's starting from scratch, which is fine. It still has its appeal. And I do like my man truck. Can I overtake? Oop, no. Oop, yeah. Out of the way. Hello. We're in Lower Saxony. Let's get back in our lane. Doing 25 miles an hour over the speed limit. Should probably stop that. Are we going this way? I think we are. Or maybe not. I mean, I could have gone along that stretch of road, I suppose. Doesn't seem to be any problem. Not strictly necessary, but Hey, you look like me. Except less awesome. Yeah, that's right. Talking trash to other truck drivers. Bum, ba, bum. Still no American Truck Simulator episode, I do apologise, but I kind of want to get to a stage with this where I feel like I can just leave it for a bit. Probably won't happen until at least I upgrade the headquarters by one more notch, maybe hire another driver, and then I'll feel more comfortable switching over to ATS for a little bit. I haven't decided whether or not I'm actually going to start a company that I'm going to carry on with, or just maybe do one or two little jaunts. But being that I bought the DLC, I feel as being that I bought the DLC, I feel as though I should at least give it a shake, you know. It'd be wonderful if you could somehow combine the two. Take your European truck over to the United States and do some missions that way, but I don't even think there's a way of doing that through mods. There we go, starting to get tired, but lo and behold, we are near a service station. So we'll pull in for a little bit of a rest. Maybe fuel up. No, we've not even used a quarter tank yet, so... Or have we gone over that quarter? Yeah, I think we have. Or fifth, or whatever it is. We might as well fuel up. And get some rest. Whoa, whoa, whoa! Ah! Stop! Stop! Okay, just pulling out of the service station. I don't know what happened. It looks as though my steering wheel stopped responding. Massively unhelpful. And we now have 20% damage to the cabin. And a good few percent damage to the trailer as well. Which means we're probably going to be penalised for that. But at least it didn't do what it's been doing with some of the... When I was doing the Halloween event, if you flip your truck in that, being towed to a service point actually gets rid of your cargo. Thankfully, because this is my trailer and not a World of Trucks event, it lets me keep it and just carry on. So it's taken us further away, or further back. So we've got some distance to make up now, which is frustrating, but it could have been a lot worse. We've wasted some time and we will be penalised, which is bad enough. But at least I can say that the truck flipping wasn't actually my fault. Well, not directly anyway. No, you don't need to indicate that way. Yeah, it was a hardware fault. Oh yeah, that was another thing I wanted to say. So I was talking a couple of episodes ago about upgrading my wheel. And there's a cash generator place in town. The stores, basically shops where people trade in stuff, and it gets resold on, like a pawn shop, I suppose you'd call it in the US. And there was a new Thrustmaster wheel, or newish, in there. Am I going the right way? No, I'm not. Back. Yeah, so it's about 160 quid. Now, I would have bought it straight away. The only problem being, I'm naturally suspicious of anything anyone takes into shops like that, because... Yeah, alright, fair enough. Somebody may have just traded it in because they needed the cash, or they didn't want it anymore, and didn't just want to give it away. That's perfectly fine. However, there is a likelihood that it's... something's wrong with it. And I know the guys in those stores test everything that gets sent in, or they should be doing anyway, to make sure that it's sellable. Oh, you just hear my clutch. I don't know if you can make it out through the audio on this, but it went as it changed up a gear. Or down a gear. Yeah, so I still kind of want to try and see if it'll work, if it's a decent wheel, but there's the bigger part of me is like, no, don't do it, because yeah, okay, fair enough, I can take it back if it doesn't work and say, look, you didn't test this properly, it's broken. But I can save myself the hassle. Oh no, engine malfunctions, don't need those, and I'm going the wrong way. It's all gone horrifically wrong. What should have been a simple job has suddenly become something much more sinister. Well, we're just about to cross into Poland. And I definitely did not flip the truck again. No! No, that didn't happen. Although on the subject of flipping trucks and damaging freight, and here we are in Poland, I wonder whether, given that my cargo is a flammable liquid and not boxes of, say, electronics or, you know, breakable goods, I wonder if we will suffer any penalty because of damaged cargo. I mean, I suppose there are ways you can compromise the integrity of a shipment of oil, but I don't think blunt force trauma is going to do it. Unless, I don't know, it gets contaminated by some sort of damage to the inside of the fuel tank? I don't know. I'm just spitballing at this point, but hopefully my theory is correct and it won't have actually damaged anything. And I have repaired the truck and I am now in the negative. I think negative 26 grand, which makes it doubly important that I actually complete this mission, because I'm going to need it to make up for the money I've just had to spend. I am going to probably play fast and loose with the speed limit, which is a risky prospect because I obviously run the risk of flipping or otherwise losing control of my truck again. But we have a large distance to cover, and speed is the key. I mean, I could be really beardy and just turn off traffic violation so I don't get speeding tickets, and I can also speed through any red lights I see. But I'm not going to do that because that feels like cheating. Keeping an eye on the sat nav just so I know where the straight bits of road are where I can stick my foot down. Oh, that's still straight, but oh god, don't. Please don't. My heart is in my throat. Okay, we're good. We're good. We're fueled up and rested. There is a McDonald's on that side of the road. I did have my real life McDonald's earlier on this afternoon. Well, it's now past midnight, so technically yesterday. It was delicious and not very nutritious. My standard McDonald's indulgence generally includes, or is comprised of, the double quarter pounder meal, large, with a Coke Zero to give myself the illusion that I'm not imbibing things that are bad for my body. 6 chicken nuggets, or McNuggets, with sweet and sour dip, which it's always a toss-up as to whether I actually get the dip or not. Usually it doesn't get sent, but this time it did. A cheeseburger, just a normal cheeseburger, which I still have sat on my desk. Don't mind eating that sort of thing lukewarm or cold, which is moderately disgusting, but doesn't faze me too much. And a McFlurry. And I now believe I have actually been through all of McDonald's flavours and variations of McFlurries. I mean, once you've had one, you've kind of had them all, but the twirl one's a little bit different. I think that's the most recent addition to the menu. But it's all just sugar in a cup. Oh dear. My levels of caffeination are running low. It used to absolutely astound me that I could drink as much caffeine as I drink and still feel ugh. But then I think somebody a while ago actually did tell me that the myth is that caffeine keeps you, you know, bodily awake. The whole stimulant aspect of caffeine works more on a brain level than a body level. So your body's still going to feel tired. Your brain just gets kept alert. Kind of. I'm resisting the urge to have a coffee. I did get some of Jacksepticeye's Top of the Morning coffee, and I couldn't recommend it more. It's absolutely delicious. I got myself the Midnight Oil dark roast beans, and I did get another pack as well, which was not for me. That was a gift for somebody else. But damn, it's tasty. I really want the mug as well. They look quite nice with the old Top of the Morning logo on the clover. But I noted to a friend a while ago that all of the caffeine products that I have, or that I drink, or use, have been peddled by YouTubers. I think the observation was that I'm a basic consumer bitch. And how? I have a really itchy nose. Okay, so is Poland near Latvia? Or is it near Lithuania? Do I have to go through Lithuania to get to Latvia? Don't know. I want to try bringing up the route planner to see how much time I actually have left on this mission, but that was what preceded my steering wheel losing control last time, so I don't really want to press anything in case that does happen again. Well, I'll just stick to my previous plan, which was to speed recklessly and hopefully get there in one piece. Brute force and ignorance. That's what will get us through this. So, I don't really know where we are at the moment, but I've just seen a signpost for, there you go, Białystok, or however you pronounce that, Warsaw. So we're in Warsaw. The reason I remember Białystok, or however you pronounce that, is because it's mentioned in the original Command and Conquer. When you play as GDI, the Nod media have got hold of a news reporter called Greg Burdett, and they make him report in front of a green screen that's displaying this town, Białystok, as a burnt out remnant of a GDI attack, which they didn't commit because it's obviously media manipulation. And that is the prelude to one of the most annoying missions in that game, where GDI funding gets completely cut and you end up with this ragtag base that's completely fucked, and you have to repair everything and build up your forces with what little resources you actually have. And I can remember that. I can remember first playing that game back in, God, the mid-90s or whenever it came out. We had a friend who was basically our... I don't want to say he was like a god, but when somebody you know has a PC and all the cool games that you really want, they quickly become something of a godlike figure. Yeah, but he had Command and Conquer before we did. And I can still remember he'd built up this really cool base as GDI. And he'd stepped away from his PC for a little bit, and I started moving his Humvees and things around. And he came back and he's like, "What are you doing?" Rightfully pissed off, but I was like, "Oh, just moving some units." He did not find it amusing. But the same guy was where I'd first experienced Lands of Law, which was a bit of a failed playthrough on this channel, and Wolfenstein 3D, Blakestone, which was a similar kind of thing, with a more English twist on it. What other games did he have that we got really into? It was the same guy who first introduced me to Magic the Gathering and Warhammer, I believe. So basically all of the cool geeky things that I'm still a massive fan of, I have a childhood friend to thank for. Yeah, I got some really strong nostalgia. I mean, the nostalgia that I started to get really started to hit me maybe middle of last year, and I remember remarking on it to a few people. Like, God, I feel so like I feel really strongly reminiscent about the old days, especially like video games and things like that. And that's part of the reason I set up my YouTube channel in the first place, was to play some of the games that I remember from way back when. But I remember I've been thinking a lot recently about when we were growing up, and we had an Amiga 500. So we had games like Dune 2, Battle for Arrakis, things like that, Lotus Turbo Challenge, a few other assorted games, because we had a next door neighbour who could sort us out with Amiga games, and that was a very useful resource to draw on. we wanted something, he could get it, which was brilliant. A few friends of the family had Amigas as well, and so that's the console. Well, that's the machine I remember gaming on the most when I was younger. Next door neighbours on the other side had Spectrum. I can't remember which Spectrum it was, but it was a cassette loader Spectrum, so I don't know. I think they had things like Ghostbusters 2 on that. That was where I first played Dizzy as well. Dizzy the Egg, or Dizzy Egg. And then some guys up the street, a few doors up, had a SNES. We never had a Nintendo. We had the original Master System, which I still have in my understairs closet. So yeah, those guys had a SNES, and I had a friend who lived across the bridge from me, and he had a Mega Drive, or Genesis, as the Americans call it. So between a few various friends, we had a nice selection of consoles to play on. And then, of course, I had, a little bit later down the line, I had my friend who had his PC. So I had a very well-rounded gaming experience growing up as a kid. But I can still remember quite clearly how it felt back then, playing all these games, and you know, all the associated feelings that went with each individual game. You know, how I felt playing the early flight sims, how I felt playing things like Theme Park for the Amiga. And again, I don't know if I've ever mentioned this in a video, but I have a very, very strong associated memory of Spearmint chewing gum and the Amiga Format magazine with its demo discs, floppy discs, going back a long, long way. So obviously we used to get PC Gamer as well with we used to have a CD demo disc on the front. But yeah, Amiga Format used to come with floppies. And that was where I first experienced Theme Park, on a demo disc on the front of Amiga Format. But yes, it's one of those things where it was a very happy time. So full of good memories. And it just, for some reason, I think it's because I'm getting to that sort of like midlife period. And longing for the good old days, where nothing was more important than the next issue of Amiga Format, and what goodies were on each demo disc, and then flitting between friends' houses playing on each individual console. But yeah, just thought I'd mention that because it seems to have been... I had a huge nostalgia hit, as I said, probably middle of last year, and it's lasted until now. It's diminished a little bit, and I imagine over enough time it will just peter out and sod off, but I don't know, it's bizarre because I like the feeling. It's a good feeling, but at the same time it's kind of like a bittersweet feeling, because I know I'm never going to recapture the way I felt about the games that I played then with games these days. My brain's changed too much, and I'm just going to run this light, I don't care. My 21, minus 21 grand, nearly minus 22, shit. I think my expectations of games has changed. I think as much as I try and go back and relive the older titles, it's never going to feel the same. But that feeling hasn't gone. I can still feel it. I can just never recapture it, if that makes sense. Not fully, anyway. There's a spider crawling up my wall. Well, it looks as though the marker has reappeared on the phone attached to my windshield. It's not on the main... Oh, would you piss off? It's not on the main GPS, which means it's probably not immediately up ahead. But you can just see it up there in the top left-hand corner of my phone screen. So we could be closing in. Had another little sleep. So we should be nice and well rested. Shouldn't need to sleep again for a bit. Fuel-wise, we're just... Actually, we're running quite low. I should have fueled up last pit stop, but... Off I go! Is that police car behind us? I think it might have turned off. I'll risk putting my foot down. Nope. I think coming up to a roundabout anyway, so I need to slow a little bit. Yes, we are. And we're going straight over it. Whoop, whoop, whoop. Ooh, there's a fuel place up ahead. Should I fuel up? Do you know what? I'm gonna risk it. Foolishly, but it seems as though we are coming up on our destination. Don't you pull out, you... Oh. Have you no sense? No, it all looks very, very Latvian. I don't know what Latvian looks like. I've never been to Latvia in my life. This could be anywhere. Dare I risk overtaking? No. No, I dare not. I dare now. Go, go, go! Oh, I'm not going to make it. No. That is not worth however much damage that would do. Okay, I think that is a Latvian flag. Up ahead. Yes. We made it. Well, we're in the general geographic region. We've still got to make it to the destination. So 2 flips. A hell of a long detour / restart that took us back into Germany. Some very, very near misses. Combine harvester. And plenty of pit stops. But we're finally in Latvia. Good lord. Do you know what? At this point, I don't think it's going to make much difference. We'll just keep up the pressure. Maybe chill out a bit on these country roads. Oh, hey up. Somebody's in trouble. Ah. Are we turning off here? I think we are. I'm very interested to see if it deducts anything for cargo damage, as I mentioned before. Can we see where we're going from here? Nope. It's hidden by the trees. I just fearfully looked at OBS then and I was like, did I press record? That would have been bad. Very bad. Instead of this being the very relaxing, much needed escape from reality it should have been, having not pressed record would have been a nightmare. I've discovered a new viewpoint. Well, it would be rude not to stop and check it out, because it gives us a little bit of a cutscene thing as well. So let's mosey on down. It's just on the right here. What's this place? We'll check it out. Stop engine. Have a look. Riga Hydroelectric Power Plant. So it'll give us a nice little view of power plant. Fascinating. That's pretty. Wow. Damn. Quite literally. Okay. Well, there you go. I don't think we need to see the office. Oh, we can take a look at our truck. Parked there. Looking very inconspicuous. And not at all damaged. Beautiful. Okay, let's go. Can we get out this way? Ah, just go straight across the parking lot. Anything coming? Can't see anything that way. Looks like we're good. Oh, God. It's been another smash. Unlucky sausage. That's what you get for staring at the scenery and not looking at the road like you should. Trust me, I'm an authority on such matters. In fact, there's a high probability I might just give you a demonstration of such a thing before we reach our intended destination. I'll try not to, though. It would be a shame to ruin it so close to the finish line. Silence. A bit too snappy with my steering, I think. It's all about the minute maneuvers and probably slower speeds as well. Ah, the waypoint thing has vanished from the map altogether now. Where the hell has that gone? It's taking us into the woods. Valmiera, that is where we're going. And that was on the signpost. So we're going the right way. Oh god. Ugh. Quickly slam on the brakes there. Don't want to flip now. Don't want to flip at all. Would you look at this place? Wonder what kind of place it is we're delivering to. I've never been out this far before. Well, not to this part of Europe anyway. I mean, in the game I've been as far as is it Budapest? Not Budapest. What the hell am I talking about? Oh god. Where is it? Like down near Turkey. Istanbul. Is that the capital of Turkey? Again, geography. Not a strong suit. Hey, we've made it. It's this place. Oof. Well, I tell you, that was one long haul. But by Jove, we made it. And just about time too, because I am busting for a pee. I hope they have decent facilities. Next. Ah, it's an oil refinery of sorts. How very in character. Hello. I have your oil from the UK. Said no truck driver ever at the moment. Oh, this is a nice, easy park. To skip parking the trailer. Huh. Who do you think you're dealing with here? Right, some amateur. I'm a professional, don't you know? That guy sat on the bench. Looks like he's having a tough time. You alright there, mate? God. Yes, I'm just going to snake it back into the parking space. Get up and leave me to it. God. Doing this horrendously. Right, come on, stop. Get a grip. There we go. Straighten up. A bit more that way. There we go. Carlisle to Latvia in one sitting. Ba 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 ba. Satisfactory. Right. So yeah, we were penalised 9,000 for damage. But we levelled up and came damn close to doing it again. Yeah, so Carlisle to Valmiera took us 84 hours and 49 minutes. I don't know how long it actually took us. In game. In real life, sorry. But that was 2,098 miles. So we can choose to put a point in this. So I've maxed out ADR, long distance and high value. We're just working through them at the moment. The temptation is to work on eco driving a bit, but honestly it doesn't really matter that much at the moment. I want the high value cargoes. So yeah, we're back in the black out of the red. 75 grand. That's nearly enough to upgrade the depot again. But yeah, there was a nice long distance journey. Had fun doing that one. It's going to be interesting to see. Well, I'm probably going to have to cut that one to edit it just a little bit. So yeah, that's going to be fun. But thanks very much for watching, and I will see you again next time for a different delivery, different place, different time. Bye bye.